This is Holiday Coro, item number 656. This is the dual power supply Falcon F16 mounting kit. This allows you to take your F16 Falcon controller with 16 SPI outputs, version 2 or 3, and mount that to a CG-1500 enclosure with 2 Meanwell power supplies. All right, now I should mention that Holiday Coro does not sell the Falcon controller. And other items are optional, and they will allow you to round out and make your controller a really professional install. These include the CG-1500 enclosure, mounting clamps for string relieving your cables for pigtails, the pigtails themselves, item number 723, Cat5 bulkhead fittings, power supplies, or even labels for your cables to give them the ultimate professional look. Now, let's break down how this system works. It's a 2-layer system. So we have a CG-1500, and it's important to note that the CG-1500 has 3 mounting locations here at the top. Those are designed so you can mount this to a wall. Now, some competing mounting systems don't allow you to reach these, and that's very important. You've got to mount this enclosure. In almost all ways, these have to be used to mount that. So, this allows you to continue to access those mounting holes. Now, this bottom mounting plate included has markings for the screws. These screws with the X's are used to mount the included screw hardware into the CG-1500. Now, we also have a straight line with brown, and those are used to mount these 40mm brass standoffs. These are not plastic like in competing units that will crush or possibly deform. Now, we also have a screw on the bottom. So we're gonna take the screw, put it through, it's gonna run into this female section, and then the male stud will be sticking up. Now, not shown here is one in the center. Now, from a power standpoint, typically we recommend running the power through here and then in to this power supply, and then just use some additional cable to jumper over the ground, neutral, and line over to the other side. And then we're gonna just be pulling off the power, as you'll see in a moment, and going straight up to the Falcon controller. So we'll put that into the control box, screw that all down. Now there's a note, you could use this, and we'll show you this integrated in a moment. These are bulkhead fittings available optionally, and these can be mounted through holes in the bottom of the closure, and you can put these bulkhead fittings to allow Cat5 connections to your Ethernet plugs on the Falcon. So let's start off with the mounting board. Now the mounting board is all full color printed, and it tells you exactly where everything goes. So you're not getting a board with a bunch of holes that don't explain how to do anything. So first, again, we have the wall mount holes up here. These locations around the outside or for nuts that will go on top of the standoffs. And we of course have the Falcon in the center, and we have some zip tie holes over here. Now these may be optional, you may need them, you may not need them. Some customers like to tidy up their installs. You may be using RS-45 over here and want to run some things through here and then underneath and then back down again. Keep those up off the power supply. All right, now we'll also notice that we have 4 mounting holes right here below, and those match the controller, and there's a very unique way. This is super easy, and it's easier than any kit on the market. These simply just pop in place. You just take this connector right here and just pop it into the board like that. That's all there is to it. You'll see that it's already got the standoff, so it's got the appropriate spacing for all the legs so that this is not resting on the board directly. And it also means that you can easily take that off just by compressing these. So if you need to pop it off, do a repair or whatever, there's no screws and a bunch of connections and washers and all that kind of business. And how to mount it is super easy. So let's first get this board onto the baseboard. So we just put that on there. And of course, normally this would be screwed in, and we normally would have put the 6 screws on the outside and the single screw in the middle. All right, to mount it, it's just simply pop and pop. That's it. That's how easy it is to mount it, and it's securely attached to the board now. Now, if you want, you can also run this, a Cat5 extension through here. And let me show you what that looks like when we have that mounted. This just allows you to make a really clean install. Not a huge investment, but it definitely cleans up your install. So this allows you to put your Cat5 cable for Ethernet right in there. no problem there. And run these right out here. And because these come out in the center where there's not anything blocking it, you'll have plenty of space. All right, now you get all that mounted, and you can see we have a spot for all the SPI cables. So we just run these down, and you'll see that you can easily connect all of these in place. You might want to, of course, space them all out, make it look pretty. And you can see that it's easy to get to them. The fuses are on top. There's no buried things to get to the controller. You're still able to get to this portion up here to control the controller. You can also test the power supply if you're wondering if you've got a multimeter issue or something like that. And of course, you still have these clamps, so they're not going to pull out. It's super inexpensive. And from a power standpoint, all you need to do is you're going to run one power supply per bank. So here you're going to go down to the bottom, and here you're going to go down to the bottom, and your length of cable is very short because the power supplies are directly underneath the controller. So we hope you like this, and this is a absolute great mounting kit if you do have a need for dual power supplies. We do have a mounting kit, see a link below, for single power supply units if you don't need all the complexity of this multi-level system.